Therefore, I have great pleasure in introducing our Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy. And before I do, please.
David Lammy received a not-so-warm welcome when he went to speak at the Vigil for the Synagogue terror attack victims today. Is that the best that the government could wheel out?
Please. We know how we all feel.
Go to Palestine! Shame on you! Go to Palestine! Leave us alone!
They are furious with him.
Children's school was closed today. You have allowed this to happen.
You have blood on your hands!
You're all guilty. You have allowed 2 acres in Manchester on the street. You have allowed it. You are all guilty. You do not want this speaking here today. You do not speak.
He's being told he's not welcome. He's being told he's got blood on his hands. He's being told, shame on you.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
A chant is breaking out.
Enough!
Empty words.
Okay, all right, we've heard enough. We know how you feel. I know how I feel. Let's give the time for our Deputy Prime Minister to address us. David Lammy.
Let's see if they let him speak now. Not much clapping. Oh dear. That is the most pathetic clap you've ever heard. Just the people behind him. Maybe just Andy Burnham.
Friends, we must stand together today. We must stand in grief, in solidarity and in defiance.
I won't play you the whole clip of everything he said because I think you can imagine how boring and pathetic it was. I believe he failed to actually call out the attack as an anti-Semitic attack. And I want to show you what Mark Addleston said on Sky News. He is the man who just introduced David Lammy there.
It was interesting. I wasn't quite sure what sort of reception the Deputy PM would receive, but it became clear very quickly that there was a lot of anger in the crowd, and at first I tried to quieten them down, and then I actually thought, you know what, no, let it happen, let the anger come out, let the expressions of real pain come out, let him hear them, and then eventually I quietened the crowd down, and they did listen to him, but they gave him a tough time for good reason.
Yeah, well, talk to me about that. Why were they so angry?
Well, I think it's, look, we've got this difficult situation with the conflation of anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Everything seems to go back to that. Everything seems to go back to Israel. And so given that fact, and given the fact that in the main Jewish people within this country have a strong connection, whilst being proud British Jews, have a strong connection to the state of Israel, and the fact that a Palestinian state was recognized by the British government without any conditions or any preconditions on Hamas was just a step too far. It was, you know, it was something we find very, very difficult to accept.
So there we go. He's saying there that he actually allowed people to express their frustration with David Lammy. And let's not forget what David Lammy said a few days ago at Labour Party conference.
I will leave it for the public to come to their own judgments about someone who once flirted with Hitler Youth when he was younger. That is for the public.
Yes, it's a bit rich for David Lammy, of all people, to be going there today to give a speech talking about how, you know, we all need to be nice together and come together as a society, when he is dividing people by claiming that his political opponents flirted with the Hitler Youth, even though Nigel Farage wasn't even born until nearly 2 decades after the Hitler Youth was disband. So a lot of people say he is sowing division. He has time and time again stood up and berated Israel for defending itself against Hamas. And then you've got Shabana Mahmood right next to him there as well. And what kind of look is that? Shabana Mahmood, in her free time, likes to go down to these hate marches that a lot of the Jewish community are giving some blame to for this tragedy. Now, we don't know the absolute specifics. I mean, I think it's quite clear that this was an Islamist, but we don't know whether his frustrations were particularly about Palestine, or if he just generally had a fundamentalist ideology. We know that his father posted on Facebook celebrating the October 7th attacks. But I think generally speaking, the Jewish community, regardless of the exact intentions for this specific attack, have been suffering very much over the past couple of years because of the hate that these marches going on every Saturday has been breeding, and the kind of horrific things that have been chanted. And Jews in London are absolutely terrified to leave their homes for 2 years running. We're nearly up to that second anniversary of the October 7th attacks, and these continue week in, week out, these marches, seemingly with almost no restrictions. What kind of reception did they expect, sending these two absolute plonkers, David Lammy and Shabana Mahmood, down to speak to the Jewish community? And I want to show you this tweet from Josh Howie. He's a presenter on GB News, and he's Jewish, and he says, "I'm not sure non-Jews appreciate how pissed off we have to be to get to a point where the Deputy Prime Minister is heckled. For British Jews, this is about as insurrectionist as we get. Of course, our respect for law and order are precisely why the authorities have treated us so shoddily, whilst bending over backwards to appease other communities where heckling would be the least of it." Exactly. This is, if it was some, a bunch of woke lefty idiots screaming and shouting at a politician, it's kind of expected, right? But to actually see the Jewish community getting so angry with a politician shows that it must be bad. Anyway, that is what David Lammy has been up to today. It's not really been the greatest start of him being a deputy prime minister, having the whole huge scandal that wiped away possibly any success from the Labour Party conference from the headlines, where he accused Nigel Farage of flirting with the Hitler Youth. And then all across the headlines today, David Lammy heckled by the Jewish community. And don't forget that last year, after the Southport attacks, when Keir Starmer went down to Southport to try and show solidarity with the community there, he was heckled and he was booed. The amount of resentment people have for their politicians at the moment is at an all-time high. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, so that you know when we're posting new videos. See you next time.